Well, after a long winter in Minnesota, capped off by a 16-inch snowfall in late April in the Twin Cities, I couldn't wait for the warmer weather so I could get back to doing some camping. I just started doing this last year as a hammock camper and really enjoyed it. For the 2018 season, I thought I'd start off at nearby Afton State Park. Afton State Park is a beautiful park located on the Minnesota side of the scenic St. Croix River Valley. Here's a screen from the Minnesota DNR website. It shows all of the campsites at Afton State Park. There are 27 you can reserve. What's really cool is you can click on any of those numbers and you will get another page that has descriptive information about the campsite and also includes a photograph, which is really nice. For hammock camping, you want to know that there are some trees. So I also thought I'd get some more images on campsitereports.com, another site that I found after doing some searching. Check out this picture of Afton State Park's campsite number 18, which look perfect for hammock camping. So I made a reservation for Monday, May 14th for an overnight. The weekends fill up really fast, so a weekday seemed good. When I got to the park, the friendly ranger reminded me that it's a strenuous 3/4 of a mile hike to the campgrounds. It starts off benignly enough as a paved road that goes downhill into the river. And you walk along the river trail. It seems pretty flat. Part of it, after all, is a former railroad grade, which is nice and flat. But then you get to this juncture, and this picture really doesn't convey how steep that trail going up off to the left really is. They were just refurbishing the trail, so they were really nice, but they were steep, and they went up, and up, and up, and up some more. They thoughtfully provided some benches where you could sit down for a moment and catch your breath, or collapse and die, as the case may be. Then you finally get to this switchback, and it's the last hill up, and then you reach what looks like the gates to the campground with these two gnarled trees on either side. I thought there should be a sign that said, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here." The good news is once you get to the campground, things flatten out. You are at the top of the hill after all, so there aren't that many grades anymore. And you're afforded some really nice views you can see for miles across the St. Croix Valley. Well, here it is, campsite number 18, my home for the night. What I really like about this campsite is that it's pretty far off the main trail. I like it that you can't see the campsite from the main trail. So you walk a little bit and a little bit more, and then finally, there it is, campsite 18. And here's the area that was featured in the campreports.com picture. There's another tent pad over to the other side. But as you can see, there are plenty of trees, which make nice options for hammock camping. So I decided to set up my hammock and rainfly right over the tent pad area, which worked out really well. There's a nice view looking from my head to my feet. I can see the St. Croix River just beyond my toes. Well, after a while, it looked like it was getting cloudy, but I felt like hiking some more, so I walked around the campgrounds. I avoided stepping on the local wildlife, but I thought I would check out some of the other unoccupied campsites. This is one of the unwooded ones, or the open ones. Here's an example of a wooded one. This is campsite number 6, which I also think would probably be a pretty good hammock camping one. Yes, I took a picture of a toilet. I just wanted to convey the idea that there were a couple of vault toilets at the campsite. They were really clean and well maintained. They don't want you to gather wood, but for $6 you can take all of the wood you want and cut it up for campfires from this big pile. They're really long planks, which you have to saw, and that looked like a lot more work than I felt like doing. So what I did was I scavenged broken pieces off the ground, and I found some that were like 1x2s that I broke into pieces with my feet. I carried the bundle to my campsite, and of course I dropped one. When I bent to pick up another one, I dropped another one, and comedy ensued as this process repeated itself all the way to my campsite. But I had wood for a fire.
Yep, rain. long-range forecast said it was going to be beautifully sunny today with a possibility of a rain shower tomorrow afternoon. So I thought, well, that'll be great. I'll be able to camp and then get home before the rain starts to fall. But beautiful Monday has clouded over and we're getting some gentle showers. It's okay. I did a lot of walking already today, so it's kind of nice just to relax. I have a view of the St. Croix River there beyond my feet. And just hear the pattering of the rain on my rainfly. I've got a magazine to read. I'm just kind of literally hanging around.
Well, what do you know? The rain actually stopped for a little while, so I felt like it was time to get out of the hammock and do a little more hiking. I hiked on a trail from the north side of the campground that goes down to the St. Croix River. You pass through this wooded area, and while there, I saw 4 deer. When they saw me, they froze. And this one in particular stared at me for about a minute before they decided I was probably okay. And then they slowly sauntered into the forest. Continuing on down the trail is a nice view of the river through the trees. And then you reach this former railroad trestle. And when you go underneath it, you reach the beach and boat launch area. It was pretty quiet. No one else was down there. And that would be Wisconsin on the other side of the river. Hello, Wisconsin! And then I walked back and I encountered my dear friends again, who were a little more skittish. Well, then I thought it was time for some dinner. I had a very light dinner. I like these tuna things. I also had the crackers and an apple and a chocolate protein bar. So I had a pretty easygoing dinner.
Yep, still raining. It's been going on for about an hour, and it seemed like it was lightening up, and then kind of came back with a little more force. You can see it dripping off the end of my rain tarp here. But I'm still high and dry here. I'm doing just fine. I'm just kind of taking it easy. Not much else to do. I put all my firewood under the picnic table. So can you see it under there? There we go, there's the fireplace. And there's my wood under the picnic table. Hopefully it's staying fairly dry.
Well, the good news is it did stay dry, and at about 9:15 at night, the rain stopped and I got out of my hammock and I decided it was time for a campfire. Now this is more like it. I'm so glad it didn't rain through the whole night. I really wanted to have a campfire since I was only staying one night. Okay, well, you get the idea. The sun came up and it was a beautiful Tuesday morning. So I lit another campfire just for the charm of it because the morning sun was already warming things up. I heated up some water for my breakfast, which is another Mountain House breakfast skillet. I really like this meal. And of course some coffee. Coffee. While I had breakfast, I read through an old New Yorker magazine that I picked up in my doctor's office early Monday morning before I went to the campground. He saw me reading it and invited me to take it with me. I'm glad I did because I didn't think to bring anything else to read. Hey, check out the cartoon caption contest. I think the obvious answer is, hey pal, what's the hurry? But I'm open to suggestions. Well, here's the whole campsite from the picnic table. It's nice to have it in the sunshine. I hung up a shirt on a tree so it would dry in the sun. This is pretty much the only thing that got damp. Check out some new gear. I got a Kelty Trekker backpack with an external frame. I looked at internal frame packs and I decided to go traditional. But I did buy this platypus hydration system, which fits nicely in the backpack, and I got to tell you that Water coming from that drink tube really helped coming up that hill. I like to thread my hammock through my sleeping bag for extra warmth. Seems to work for the most part, but if you saw my video of fall camping, I still had some cold spots at night. Not anymore. I bought this thin thermal sleeping pad, and I stick it in my hammock, and I slept great. No cold spots at all, even though when I woke up I could see my breath. Well, I struck camp, and I decided to go back down the hill. And I gotta say, going down the hill is sure a lot easier than coming up. After I stowed my gear, I took some more hikes, and I found nice scenic lookout places like this. There's still stairs. There's lots of hills and stairs at this park. Oh my gosh. But I took a long hike on the North Trail that follows the railroad grade, and that was great. What a pleasure to just walk on a flat trail along the river looking at these scenes. It was really beautiful. Some more of the former railroad grade. There are 2 former railroad trestle bridges on this trail. And so here I am, just enjoying the beauty of it all and looking at Wisconsin. I had a little lunch at a picnic table along the river. Totally enjoyed myself. And after a little more hiking later in the afternoon, decided it was time to go. I had one more encounter with wildlife as this wild turkey decided to cross the road right in front of me. Afton State Park, only 40 minutes from the Twin Cities, or even less depending on where you live, and great place for camping. Great way to get started with the camping season. Well, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Stay tuned for more videos.